bounces light all the way down to a 1.6 meter primary mirror at the bottom of that 500-foot long tunnel. That mirror bounces light back up to approximately ground level here, where a pickoff mirror bounces light to the control room, which we will visit shortly. You'll be able to look up and see that, light right there. The two smaller heliostats bounce light to 0.9 meter primary mirrors, which also bounce light to the control room as well.
Which is behind you all right here, but then also finding ways to incorporate the thought-out language as well. Our language is not easily translatable like other languages are, so trying to find ways where we can still incorporate it, but then now that we have this foundation in here of the exhibits, being able to have our exhibits and everything, where before we're like, okay, just envision this dark long hallway, we're gonna have, you know, this, that, and now it's actually installed. And like I mentioned, next Tuesday is our soft opening, and then also to having more of these hands-on where you can open and read. So it's on both sides here. And then this is really awesome too, because you can look at observatories. So having, again, like I mentioned, hands-on, and then you can pick and choose where you want to go, and then be able to see exactly where you are. So that's where we are. But and then you can go back and then kind of play around with this. But yeah, and then we have all these little areas where you can open and but like I said, we'll have time to come back and you can look through, take pictures, and you know, have a chance to really spend some time. Here, you can go to different telescopes.
Reflection up there to see at that point. The mirror cover's on here, so you can't really see that quite as easily through this. How do you get away? Plus, you have to lean way in here to see anything in that mirror. That one's easier because the table's smaller, so it's easier to lean yourself, head over there and see it. Now, earlier someone asked, well, that heliostat right there had an image of the sun yesterday. They managed to get the sun focused on that table yesterday, about a 14-inch diameter image of the sun. Unfortunately, we can't do it today. They had to have people up on top of the thing helping move the mirror and point and everything, so it's still not quite to the push button where you can actually move it easily and get the sun in there. But they're working on that part, so it'll be open hopefully next week. There's a split to that port and direct light down to there. One of the last experiments done here before they shut down for research was from the University of Wisconsin. Ron, whose last name I'm forgetting. Olofsson, yeah. You know the experiment I'm talking about. I can't remember his last name. He had this device right there, this big crate, which would analyze the moonlight and look for sodium in the moon's atmosphere. He was studying sodium in the moon's atmosphere. He's a very friendly guy because he'd have this big 3-foot image of the moon right there. And if you happen to be here tonight, he'd say, "Come on in, I got the moon," and show you the moon right there, which was absolutely spectacular to look at. Ron was great. I loved him. He showed me, as well as a lot of my guests I had up here tonight, the moon on this telescope.
This is something that a lot of our visitors walk away with, like, that was the coolest thing I've ever seen. And we're like, right? And because we want them to walk away. And it's a garden because of the abundance as you're walking and seeing how much grows here. But to the south of here is actually our creator's home. So Bobby Kivri Mountain, or as we call it, and as you walk out, when we leave, you can see it. And so that's where his home is, and it actually was a volcano a very long time ago. But this is his garden. This is where he'd come and collect his food. But then he also provided to all of the O'odham a place to come and gather. And so that's the nickname for the mountain. But also too capturing and including one of my favorite poets and people in general, Dr. Ophelia Cepeda. She is O'odham. She's the only O'odham to serve as a professor at the University of Arizona within the linguistics department, and also American Indian Studies. And she actually wrote one of our first language books as lessons. And so being able to take her words and she puts it in here. We had different telescopes that were open and activities, and we had this space open, and we had so our yucca and our bear grass grow here, so representing that in the images. And then also we have some really great basket makers that have been allowed us to have their basketry and their artwork up here. And then also too, like showing